We will now go to sports anchor Eden Brockman to hear about how one baseball player has emerged after transferring from another Big 12 school. Eden?
Thanks, Lena. The K-State baseball team is still smack dab in the middle of their season. They're a young team filled with transfers and freshmen, but with several players taking on leadership roles. They have their eyes set on Omaha.
Dominic Johnson, a sophomore transfer from Oklahoma State, says the team has a lot of new faces this year, but has been able to mesh well together.
We have a whole bunch of transfer guys as well as new freshmen, and we get along very well. So we've meshed really well. Coming from the fall, it's a lot different just because no one knew anyone, but now we're one team.
Johnson says he helps support the team by setting the tone early, since he has been hitting the leadoff all year.
But I like to lead by example. So like I said, setting the tone early, being able to play off my energy and everyone feeding off of that. I feel like we've done a great job with that.
The leaders on this team are working hard on and off the field to be leaders and mentors for their younger teammates. And it's resonating well with the younger players.
They just cheer me on whenever I'm down. They kind of encourage me a little bit, give me a little bit of confidence. They also, they worked hard just as much as I do, so I kind of look up to them about that.
Sophomore shortstop Nick Goodwin says that Culpepper is stepping up to the plate as a freshman.
I think we've done a pretty good job for the most part with leading those guys in the right direction. Then we got young guys like Casey, who's playing really well, and he's been our best defensive infielder so far, and for him to step up in that position as a freshman is big.
Johnson, along with the rest of the team, now have their eyes set on Omaha.
We want to finish the season strong, above 500, preferably 30-plus wins. But like I said, we want to get to Omaha, get into a regional, see what we can do if they're in the postseason.
The Wildcats are looking to take down the Longhorns this weekend in a 3-game series starting tonight in Manhattan. Less than a year ago, the NCAA allowed athletes to start profiting off their name, image, and likeness, known as NIL. Now, Aaron Lockett, former K-State football player, NFL athlete, and current sports agent, along with several others, are launching the Wildcat Den Collective to help connect fans and businesses with student athletes to create deals.
And so instead of the student athlete actually starting the conversation, it really generates from the company and or from an investor or an alumni or a donor, whatever you want to call them, to the sense of they can identify what sport and or athlete they want to put funds into. And so those funds would sit into a bucket until that student athlete performs a service or promotes a product, right? And so that's where the Wildcat Den comes in, A, as a holding cell, but B, on the back end of actually putting together events to where they can see value for getting these funds.
I think it's a good thing. It's certainly, there's a lot of different levels of it, but here at K-State we've got great athletes all across the board, and we've had a lot that have had success doing this.
While the University of Kansas may have celebrated a national championship in men's basketball, new K-State coach Jerome Tang is on the recruiting trail, trying to replace players who left via the transfer portal. On the day Tang was announced as head coach, he said he wasn't worried about Kansas. He has bigger goals.
I didn't get hired to beat Kansas. I got hired to win a Big 12 championship. We're going to get up for 1 game a year or 2 games a year. We're going to get up for every game.
And that's all the time we have for sports today. Back to you at the desk, Lena.